Elon completely ripped me off. What the hell, man? Why did you do that? Well, you're going to have to watch this video till the end, but isn't that a great headline? It sure is, right? So I purchased full self-driving in 2022 when I purchased this Model 3 Tesla. It's the rear-wheel drive version. I paid way too much money for it. And with the full self-driving, which at that time was $15,000. Now, I want you to remember, today you can purchase full self-driving for $8,000 if you desire to. You can also get a monthly subscription, which wasn't available back then. Now, today's full self-driving is in the new Model Y, the 2025, and actually the 2024 version has what they call hardware 4. My car has what they call hardware 3. My car is version 12, and the newer cars are version 13. I'm going to keep this simple for the purposes of making the point of the video. Now, we need to go back to 2017, which was when I first started investing in Tesla. I love the company. I still love it to this day. I still believe in it, blah, 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 blah. I started investing in 2017. It took me that long to purchase a Tesla. So it was 2022 before I invested in a product that Tesla had, right? I love the Model S, but it was too expensive for me. And even though I can buy just about any car I want within reason, I've never been one to purchase new cars. First of all, I don't like car payments. If I can't pay cash, I don't buy the car. When I bought this car, I had a payment on it for a very short period of time, but only because I was doing another business deal and I wanted to hold on to that cash. But I very rapidly paid off the loan. Now, I did wrap the full self-driving into that loan. So that $15,000 was added into the total price. I ended up paying, I want to say $62,000 or $63,000 or something for this car at that time. That was very expensive. Now, that included the full self-driving at $15,000, but it was a lot of money. And I remember the promise from Elon back then is this car is going to drive itself, and eventually you will be able to put it out into a fleet and it will make money for you. Now, many, many people bought that thinking that that was going to happen like, a month later or 6 months later or a year later or 2 years later. I never believed that for a second. Not for a single second. And here's why I never believed that. Because I'm a businessman. And I understand how things actually work. And the notion that they were going to announce something that's $15,000 today and it's going to work perfectly within a few months or a year or even 2 years was ridiculous. Anybody who believed that was insane. So why did I spend $15,000 on full self-driving? Because I'm an idiot? No. The more I invested in the company, the more I learned about the company, the more I realized where the company was going. As far as I was concerned, that $15,000 investment plus the investment in purchasing a car that I knew was way too expensive at that time. But I wanted to put my money where my mouth was, number one. But number two, I'm a smart investor. How can you possibly invest in anything that you don't understand, that you don't use, that doesn't benefit you on a daily basis? You can't do that. So as far as I was concerned, since I tell people that by owning stock in a company, I don't see it as stock. I own a piece of the company. This Tesla is my company. This company that I buy shares of stock in, it's my business. I treat it like a business. I work at that business every day, learning about it, learning about the products, learning how to use the products, learning how the products are being developed over time. This is my company. Elon Musk is my partner. And if you're not investing that way, you're not an investor. You're just crap shooting out. You're buying stuff you know nothing about, and you don't have a clue what's going on. Now let's get back to full self-driving for a second. The first time I used this car and put it in full self-driving, it was all over the place. Now, did it go in a straight line down the road? Did it make a right turn at the end of the street? Yes, it did. But it was very clumsy. And it was flying over speed bumps. And was veering off. When I would go around the curve, it would go off to like the right side of the road instead of following the line around the road. It would stop, it felt like 20 yards from a stop sign, and then it would creep forward. And, it worked, yes, but to anybody around you, it was certainly annoying. You couldn't leave it in full self-driving at that point. You couldn't. It was erratic. It would do crazy things. It would go off the center line, and it would make right turns where it wasn't supposed to. And all of a sudden, now that was version 11. That was really rough. Anybody who's watching the video who is used for self-driving understands what I'm talking about. So I continued to persist. I loved the car. The car, to this day, I love this car. This car has 77, almost 78,000 miles on it. And I'll get back to that in a minute. But follow me here with this whole full self-driving thing. So a few months later, I got a software update. And it's over the air. It comes to the car. You get a notification on your car and on your phone that there's a software update. And then you download that. I usually do it at night. I plug in the car. It takes about, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, or whatever it is. You push the button and you get a new software update. And the very first software update I got, the next morning when I drove the car, I was looking at the screen at one point and I could see a traffic light. It actually was showing me the traffic light. In that very moment, right there, I knew that full self-driving was real. I knew it was going to take a long time, but I knew it was real. Had I not paid $15,000 for full self-driving or invested in it at that time, I never would have known that. I never would have seen the progression of where it has gone from there to where it is now. Now, as you know, the robotaxi has launched in Austin, Texas, and there's talk about it launching in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, any day now. And yes, it has safety drivers who sit in the passenger seat. But let me tell you something right now. Full self-driving works. We know it works. We know robotaxis work. And by the way, I drive my car 3 days a week, sometimes, usually minimum of 2 days a week. And it's a 2-hour drive one way. It's actually 2 hours and 7 minutes one way. And then I return the same day. And having full self-driving has completely changed my life. That alone is worth the $15,000. Now, the reason I'm doing this video today specifically is I was listening in on an X Spaces conversation. If you've never done an X Spaces, get yourself an X Twitter account and go in there and listen to the spaces. There are various spaces. They're basically discussion groups. They're live. People talk to each other. You can ask questions. But I follow this specific group of people who are Tesla advocates. These are extremely smart people. There are engineers on there who worked for Tesla, really smart people. I follow them very closely. I learn everything that they're doing. I learn things about the company. But I was on the spaces and they were talking about today about the argument that the people who have the hardware 3, who paid for full self-driving, which is me, are probably not going to get the hardware 4. So basically, that $15,000 is gone. How do I feel about that? I'm okay with it. And I know that sounds crazy. Now, I'm not saying everybody is okay with that. And there are people who are going to be angry about it. But I will say this. I have already gotten my value out of full self-driving. And by the way, I still own it. I own it. This 2022 Model 3 has full self-driving because I own it. I purchased it. It came with the vehicle. Elon Musk or nobody else can take it away from me. Now, will it get to hardware 4? I don't know. Will I get a refund? I doubt it. Would I have to pay more to get hardware 4 at some point? Maybe. I don't know. But here's what I do know. And again, I have to get back to the fact that I'm a businessman. They have had various incentives all the time to purchase Teslas. I have been offered 0% financing. Obviously, the $7,500 tax credit is still in existence. It's going to go away soon. So if you're going to buy a car, now is probably the best time in order to get that. Now, the 0% financing went away, and then it went back to 5.9%, and now it's back down to 3.47% or something like that. And the other incentive that they've had all along was you could transfer full self-driving from your current vehicle to a new vehicle. So in other words, if I had, let's say a few months ago, if I had transferred my full self-driving to a new Model Y, I would trade this car in, and then my full self-driving would automatically go to the new car. Now I would own hardware 4 full self-driving. So now you say, well, you're still getting ripped off because you're still not, you're still not getting your money's worth. Very true. You would be 100% correct about that. However, the most recent update I got from Tesla is I can now transfer my full self-driving, if I wish, to a brand new Model Y or a Model 3, whatever car, or a Cybertruck, whatever it is, and I can actually keep my Model 3. So basically, they will allow me, they will just move the software from this car to the brand new car, which again gives me hardware 4, which would cost me $8,000 if I wanted to purchase that. Are you following me here? And I get to keep my Model 3. Now this Model 3 has 77,000 miles on it. I'm not sure how much longer I want to keep this, but I don't need a new car. I'm not that person. I probably will keep this car no matter what Tesla I buy. But now I want you to think about the math on that for a second. I decide I want to buy a new Model Y. I just transfer the software over to that. Now I have a brand new car with hardware 4 software on it. So 15,000. Subtract the 8, that's 7,000. So what am I out now? Am I out 7,000? I wouldn't feel like I am. I'd be good with that. But now, most people wouldn't be good with that. But how far away is Tesla from actually satisfying that person who paid $15,000? Not very far, mind you. You follow me here? A few $1,000s, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. If they were to come to you today, not me, I'm probably going to do it anyway, but if they were to come to you today, if you're the guy that's angry or the girl that's really angry, you've been ripped off, blah, 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 blah. If they came to you today and said, we're going to transfer it on to the new car. The cost to buy it on a new car would be $8,000. You paid $15,000. You're $7,000 in the hole. Here's what we'll do. And I'm using hypothetics here. This is hypothetical. Tesla haven't announced any of this. But if I was Tesla, this is what I would do. I would say to them, I would say to the customer, we will give you an additional $4,000 off the price of the car because you are an original full self-driving owner, and we will give you 0% financing for the life of the loan. Guess what? That's a great deal. Now, what does that do for the customer? Well, it satisfies them, right? Wouldn't you be happy at that point? I mean, I'd be happy right now. I'm very close right now to just doing what I said a minute ago, transferring it over, keep the Model 3. I got the new car, I got the hardware for, I'm down a couple of bucks, but who cares? I'm an investor. This is my company. I got to take care of the investors. I got to take care of the company. I got to make sure the company survives. But that other person who is downright pissed off, that type of deal would satisfy them. And here's what it does for Tesla. They have zero cost. They don't have to fix hardware 3. They don't have to spend any more money internally inside of the company trying to fix that. And the people who just can't be satisfied, sorry, I got cut off there, but the people who can't be satisfied, I guess they're stuck with their version 13, with their version 13 full self-driving in perpetuity. But anyway, that's my take on the whole thing. I could be wrong. I don't think it's the end of the world that I don't have hardware 4 currently. I am very happy with my original investment in full self-driving. I know it's real. I know it works, and I'm not worried about it. And I am a loyal investor, number one, in Tesla. And I will continue to do whatever I can to help grow the company that I love for the people that I love at that company. Thanks for watching.